Just testing my voice, 1 second. Just testing my voice, 1 second. Let's go. 1 2 testing 1 2 1 2. There we go. That's better. So yes guys, good evening and welcome to Thursday Night Racing League. Yes, that is right, we are back for another season. It's season 7, believe it or not. It's the opening round of the Season 7 Championship, live and exclusive on the Thursday Night Racing League YouTube channel, as well as potentially a lot of interest for tonight. It is round number 1 out of, I think it's 8 rounds this season, but yes, it is of course in the commentary box, or in the commentary booth, the one and only, of course, the legendary Hoppers in the commentary box. How are we doing, guys? Good evening, good morning, or afternoon, depending on where you're watching us around the globe, obviously. But yes, we are here at Monza for round number 1 of Season 7. We had a thrilling end a couple of weeks ago. It doesn't seem like the Season 6 Championship actually has ended, but yes, it has. But you know, it is what it is, and we're looking forward to seeing what is going to happen tonight. It looks like there's going to be a big grid as well. Looks like there's going to be about 16 drivers on the grid tonight, so I'll go through who's on the grid and then also go through the calendar. But yeah, I just thought I'd come on a bit earlier than planned to introduce the class of the field, as well as potentially introduce myself to the newcomers of the stream. But you know, I'm going to go through who's on track at the moment, because we do looking like 10 drivers at the moment on track, but there is more on the way, so it's potentially 9 more drivers on, or 6 more drivers tonight to join us. You know, it's going to be a pretty close grid here at Monza for round number 1 of Season 7. It is an hour and 15 minute endurance race. I'm just going to make sure I'm still heard. Yes, I am heard. I was just making sure I'm not mute, but yes, for Season 7 then, it is an hour and 15 minute race, endurance race here at Monza this evening. First round of the championship. I'll go through the calendar. You may remember that I went through it in the last round of Season 6 at Kyle Army, but we'll go through it very soon. But at the moment on track then is runner-up from last season, Lemos. Lemos nearly won the race at Kyle Army, as well as nearly won the championship, but I believe he ran out of fuel and that cost him quite some ground. But we'll see exactly how close that's going to be. The Porsches are looking almighty quick. He's back in the Porsche for this season. Not much has changed. It's gone back to the green and gold and black livery for Lemos this season. Then we have, of course, Chris Allen, who's now moved up into the pro class. He's now in the yellow 28 Ferrari. It's going to be very interesting to see what Chris is going to do for that Ferrari, especially in the pro class. The pro class. Sorry, I couldn't get my words out. The pro class for the run. I believe he was to run up in the AM class last season, but obviously his pace is now worthy of the pro, so it'll be very interesting to see how well he does for tonight. Then you've got Sly Pete, who made his debut at, of course, Kyle Army a couple of weeks ago, so he's now in the Bentley, not Bentley, he's now in the McLaren. I believe he was in the McLaren when we were there anyway, but he's looking like he could be a contender this evening as well as this season. And then of course you've got Peter, aka Captain Slow, in the Lamborghini Huracan. You know, it's going to be very interesting how well he does. Then you've got Insomnia 8-bit in the number 6 Bentley Continental GT, a blue and white machine, looking very racy indeed. Then you've got Jeff Bry in the McLaren, the green and black and orange McLaren. So that's going to be very interesting to see how well he does on his debut season for Thursday Night Racing League. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen between now and then, as well as in something like 8-bit. He's also new to me, but it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen there between obviously the Bentley and of course the McLaren. And we've got another Ferrari of DC Fabio in the 91 Ferrari, probably the same colours as DC Joe's Ferrari from last season, but I believe they are teammates for this season. So yeah, it'd be very interesting to see. Then you of course got Future Revenge in his orange and green Bentley Continental GT, so that'd be very interesting to see how well he does. Then we have Polasek, I believe. I'm going to probably try and get everyone's name 100% by 2 weeks time, but Polasek in the Sky McLaren. So in the number 3, he's new to me. He's going to be making his debut this season, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens. And then we've got JMR, season champion from season 6, the current back-to-back champion. Is he going to make it a triple crown this time round? He's got a chrome Ferrari and red and black flashes on the side, so it's kind of sort of like a Vodafone Mercedes McLaren from back in the day inspired livery. So he's in the number 55 Ferrari in the car he knows quite well. It's going to be very interesting. They got Hells in the Rocket, James Boulder and Chris Buncombe liveried 720S GT3 McLaren. So that is sort of the class of the field at the moment. There is more on the way, but we'll go through into the calendar just as we speak. It's going to be very, very close to see how this season will pan out. As I say, sounds like Steve can't make it this evening, so that's a bit of a shame. I was expecting Steve to do quite well. Excuse me, as I sneeze down everyone's head. So yeah, Steve won't be making it, so it probably is going to be down 15 drivers, which is a big shame really, but it is what it is. You know, but hopefully he's back in excuse me, in 2 weeks time. So the calendar is this then. This is obviously for the PlayStation 4 lobby. The guys have got a very interesting calendar, if we can find a race calendar. So there we go, for season 7 for PlayStation 4. Then in a 2 weeks time, we head off to Paul Ricard Circuit Le Castellet. That's going to be very interesting. It's an endurance race. It's going to be run in the dark. I'm not too sure whether it's going to be run from day into the dark, but it should be very interesting to see what happens. Then at the end of May we head to Zolder in Belgium. It's the first of 2 rounds in Belgium this season, where you're going to see the cars there. It would be obviously the race at Zolder will be the first sprint race, the first of 3 sprint races of the season, and then obviously at Zolder it's going to be bright sunshine. Then we head off to at the beginning of June. We head off to, of course, Kyle Army for what will be a very thrilling sprint race. It is going to be in the wet. Then we head off to Suzuka for at the end of June for a the last sprint of the season, and that is at Suzuka. Then we head to Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium on the 6th of July, and then round up the season at the end of the penultimate week in July. We head to Silverstone for the last round of the season, and that will be of course wet as well. But hope all's well, guys. I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. That, you know, I'll try and introduce the more class of the field when they do join. But if you are watching the stream, do give it a massive thumbs up. It will help me. I will read your comments out during the stream as well. I will give you variation camera rolls as per usual, and I'll give everyone airtime as well. It is an hour and 15 minutes of racing. I believe the qualifying times haven't changed. It is a 10-minute and then an hour and 15 minutes of racing, so it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. As I say, would you probably now 15 drivers, but you know, as you can tell, got the camera running as well, so you get to see the face of the commentator as well as hear my voice. So you know, it's quite enjoyable to see what's going to happen there. But as you can see, Lemos going through.
The race start?
Okay, race starts. I'm going to turn. I do apologise. Just give me 1 second. The race starts at 8 p.m. UK time, I believe. That's for qualifying. I'm going to just turn the. I do apologise. I did have the text to speech, so I do apologise. I'm going to have to get rid of that because it'll repeat it. But the race actually starts around, I think it's 8:10, where qualifying, it might be 8 o'clock, I can't remember the top of my head. It's 8 o'clock UK time normally, but depends on how quick they get through, of course, free practice. But looks like qualifying may be at 7:45 UK time, so it could be 8 o'clock UK time, my friend. But yeah, I do apologise, I forgot I had the talk back comment, so if you heard the comment, I do apologise. I had text to speech on. I forgot to obviously turn it off yet again. It's because I normally stream on Twitch elsewhere, but so I can know what's happening with the comments as Lemos bins it going out of Variante Ascari. But it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. But qualifying should start around quarter to 8. Sakura Motorsport, good evening, how are you? Or Sakura Motorsports, how are you, mate? Remind me who you are in the comments, mate, because I can't remember who you are top of my head of. I've obviously trying to get used to new people, but I've probably butchered that as well. But yeah, it's Hells. Alright, mate, sorry, I do apologise, buddy. Yes, qualifying is 8:45 if you're European in the evening, as well as 4:45 if you're in America, so I do apologise, I should have mentioned that. So I do apologise. It's Hells. Alright, mate, how are you, mate? I hope this season goes well for you, mate. I'm praying it goes well for everyone, actually, because it should be a good season. If I don't see your comment, guys, I do apologise. I'm, you know, obviously we're doing commentary. It's going to be quite interesting to see what's going to happen for this evening as well as this season. You know, I feel like everything is going to go to plan. As you can see, you know, I enjoy commentary. A bit about me, if you're just new to the stream as well. Obviously, guys know me as Hoppers in the commentary box, or as on Discord as well. Commentated for TNRL or Thursday Night Racing League for on and off for a good few seasons. I've been here I think it's 2.5 years I've actually been doing it, probably come to 3 years this year, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The championship's so well, the guys are so welcoming, the guys are welcoming with the racing, and they provide excellent action. Speaking of JMR, good evening, David R. Good luck to double champ JMR. Yes, is he going to make it 3 from 3, or is he going to make it 3 championships in a row this season? I hope he does, as he clips the curb going out towards Lesmo. I think that's Lesmo 2. He's clipped the curb there. I'll try and hopefully, if I don't get the track map up, I'll try and remember some of the corners as best as I can. My pronunciation of some of the corners here at Monza are not exactly pronounced correctly, so I do apologise. We've got of course School Gambler in the beautiful looking gold McLaren. That's the number 23 McLaren. Hopefully people aren't going to get confused with each of his numbers, but should hope not. But that's looking very nice indeed for a newcomer to Thursday Night Racing League, as Lemos is top of the tree at the moment with 149.062. So we'll see what's happened, we'll see who's out on track. I believe Jeffrey was part of the comments for a minute or two. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I will try and yes, it is a very nice livery for JMR indeed. It's quite nice to see a Vodafone inspired McLaren livery. I know it's on a Ferrari, but it's very nice to see. The liveries are looking very nice this season, I must admit, you know. But as Jeffrey goes into Variante, I'm gonna butcher this big time tonight. I should know Monza quite well. I've done commentary around here previously. Let's just go into the track map. So it's Variante Goodyear for some bizarre reason. Maybe the track maps are a bit different to me. Just give me 1 second while I get the track map, so then I can give you guys a bit of a lap of course, Monza, as JMR goes towards Variante Ascari. So let's get the track map then. So we've got so it's Variante, so Prima Variante Curva Grande, as I call it. But then I could pronounce it wrong, but I do apologise if I do, and you know, certain things don't go my way with my pronunciations. I do apologise if you are watching the stream and you are from a different country, and if I pronounce your names wrong, I do apologise as well. It's something I do tend to struggle with. We've got BR NTZ19 within the black and blue McLaren this time around. As I say, we've got 13 drivers at the moment. It is around 20 minutes and 40 seconds until qualifying does happen, so we've got around 20 minutes left actually, so we should be ready for a 8 o'clock start for the race, as well as 7:45 PM for qualifying, as well as 8:45 for the international followers over in mainland Europe as well. It depends on your time zone, you know. I'm not familiar with everyone's time zone, so I do apologise if I get the time zones wrong as well. But yes, this is me. So yeah, I've been commentating for TNRL for 2.5 years on and off, but I managed to do, I think it was bar 1 round last season that I managed to do. I might have done actually all rounds last season as commentating. As BR NTZ goes out of pit lane, going up towards Variante, the first turn. I'm going to try and remember some of the corners. I know, like Variante Ascari, going into Parabolica, and of course going into the Lesmos. So yeah, I'm going to try and hopefully remember each corner as best as I can. I'm not 100% with Monza as I used to be, so I do apologise for that. But got DC Joe in the 76 Ferrari, so it is the same style livery as DC Fabio, so I think that's probably going to get us a bit slightly confused, but that is not a problem, because I think one's got more green on it than the other, I think, so we'll soon figure that out. But as I say, we've got 14 cars on the grid at the moment. It's the biggest grid for round 1. Chris Allen's going well in 3rd place at the moment in free practice. If you're wondering where certain drivers are, the likes of Stefano Marchetto, he's now gone to PS5. They start their season next week, and Stefano Marchetto would have been doing very well around here, no doubt. But shout out to Stefano. He is still part of the admin team, but he's part of the PS5 lobby now. So multiple champion in Thursday Night Racing League, is on to pastures new in on a different console now. So this is obviously the PS4 lobby, and if I had a PlayStation 5, I would have probably done both sets of commentary, as well as PlayStation, as well as then the PS5 for the guys. But you know, unfortunately I don't, so I'm only doing the PlayStation 4 lobby. Just let me know if sound volume's good or bad, guys. Just let me know. Unfortunately, I've only got one working head earphone, so I can't hear the engine noises in both sets. But hopefully I'll get a new headset very soon, and I'll hear the engine noises in both ears. But at the moment I only can hear it throughout one. Driver interviews, if you're wondering. Cheers, mate. Thank you for that, buddy. It's as I say, DC Joe in the Ferrari. I think he's in the same colour. Yes, he's in the same colour as DC Fabio. It's not really a problem. But yeah, driver interviews. I normally do driver interviews, but because it's round one, I want to get to know everyone. I know some of the guys I do know, but I want to get to know everyone's on track. And then as of Paul Ricard, Circuit Le Castellet, I will then do driver interviews as of round two. I've stated that for the guys. It's not to be offensive, it's just the fact is, you know, I want to know each driver before I do the driver interviews. You know, it's probably better that I do that. But you know, it's 14 cars tonight. It's going to be very busy on track. It looks like it's quite busy at the moment with a handful of cars out. There's quite a few in pit lane, but you know, who knows what's going to happen tonight. But I think that was Lemos actually going off. Lemos and of course Future Avengers gone off. Lemos is there. Excuse me. But I will try and offer you the onboard cameras as I do. So I'm just cycling through the cameras to make sure they are working. So I do apologise if you see me flicking through cameras at the moment, just to make sure they are working. You can even look behind the car. But yeah, so we'll see how well tonight brings. But as I say, coming up to 15 minutes and 38 seconds to go in free practice. So we've got 15 minutes then, so we should be good to go for quarter to 8 UK time, quarter to 9 Central European time, as well as quarter to 4 Eastern Standard Time. So it should be good to see what is going to happen for tonight. As I say, it's an hour 15-minute race. It's 10-minute qualifying, but we do, as I say, 14 cars on the grid at the moment, 2 more or maybe 1 more depending on if they can get into the server. But I'll tell you what, the server is absolutely lined of full class GT3 cars. You know, I kind of wish sometimes they'd added GT4 to these guys and put some guys in GT4, but you know, maybe GT3 is the way to go. But looking at Lemos then going into the first turn, he is on course to go, hopefully try and get that championship now. It seems that you know, after a bit of disappointment in season 5 as well as season 6, you know, Lemos seems to have hopefully found his mojo to get where he needs to be. It seems a lot of things ongoing, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen thereabouts. But you know, there's a yellow flag there. Is that is the 22 machine, is it, of Hell's there? Yes, it is. But hopefully, you know, it goes well for everyone tonight. But I'm going to go and grab a quick drink off camera, but and nip to the bathroom. But I'll leave you to enjoy the sights and sounds if Lemos doesn't go into pit lane of the Porsche GT3, and I'll be back in a moment or two. But it looks like he's actually abandoning that, so we'll go with who's out on track. JMR's out on track, going through the Parabolica for that time. So we'll go on board with JMR then, give you an his helmet eye view of Monza, and I'll be back in a minute. Do apologise about that, ladies and gents. Just was gonna have a quick drink off stream, but never mind. We're good to go very soon. So we've got around 11 minutes then left of free practice then. And we're going to see how well JMR's going to do. Is he going to go back to back this season and make it 3 championships from 3? It'll be very interesting to see whether he does or not. Obviously, you know, he'll be gunning for it. But who knows what's going to happen. So Lemos is there. Not too sure where Lemos's teammate EW is. I don't know whether EW is actually signed for this season. I'll just double check with the sign-ups, just to double check. I know we've got a few people missing this evening, but it looks like, yeah, EW is meant to be signed up, but whether he's going to be here this evening is another thing. But obviously cars that were taking part in, of course, season 6, but who knows what's going to happen. But we'll try and see what happens. Chris Allen's still third then in that yellow Ferrari. A very good showing for him. Then you got Insomnia 8-bit, Jeffrey, School Gambler doing very well up into 6th so far. He's had his yellow flag into the first corner. But that is, I believe, Hells has gone off again, I believe. No, it's not. I do apologise. It's the wrong one. It's Polysurk. I do apologise for that. I thought that was Hells, but it wasn't. Obviously, the map needs to be a bit bigger for me. But maybe sometime during the race I'll just try and flick at that when it goes to a yellow flag, and then you can see who's gone off track there. But just under 9 minutes then of free practice to go. JMR still there. Chris Holland's still in course third at the moment. There's quite a few interesting cars. The McLarens are like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th at the moment. There's obviously Peter's Lamborghini in 9th at the moment, so Captain Slow as he's known. Not known by Captain Slow in real life though, but you know, he's there about. So 8.5 minutes then. Free practice is almost over and done with for round 1 of season 7. We do have, of course, quite some interesting stats and opinions hopefully throughout the season. I think we've been here once. I might have been here once, might have not, I can't remember top of my head. You know, it feels a while since we've been here around, but I do apologise. But we've got a lot of things. Good evening, Insomnia. How are you, mate? I hope you do really well in your first race, mate. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen for this evening. Hope all's well, buddy. Good to have you on the grid, by the way. It's good to have everyone on the grid that has signed up for season 7. It's quite a record turnout for this evening as well, which makes me very happy indeed for doing the commentary. But if you wonder what the commentator looks like, yes, this is me. This is the legendary Hoppers in the commentary box. But yes, I do enjoy commentary. It's something I sometimes think it's a work of art, but then it can be quite daunting sometimes, as you know, things don't always go to plan. But who knows what's going to happen. So we've got around just under 7 minutes then of free practice before we head into, of course, the 10 minutes of qualifying, and then we do have, of course, the hour and 15-minute race with a mandatory pit stop. It is obviously entirely up to the drivers when they decide to pit, whether it's for fuel or tyres or whether it's for both. It depends on obviously their strategy and their setups. They won't tell me any setups, they won't tell me their strategies, but we do kind of 9 times out of 10 do guess what is ongoing for the race. yeah, we'll see exactly what happens. I do apologise. I was just trying to talk to my other half to say coming close to blind, so the light isn't reflecting as much on the camera now. As sun. Yes, I did. Don't like you. But so then the camera isn't shining a lot of light. It's just obviously it's going dark over here in the UK, so it makes it better for you guys to see me also on stream now. So I just give my glasses a quick clean because it looks like they need a bit of a clean. So if I go blind for a second, I do apologise. So as I say, I think it's about 14 drivers at the minute on the grid, which is good for tonight. It's going to be close. I think we are due 15 though, but 14 will do. There we go, that's better. Turn the brightness down on my phone a bit so that's not reflecting. There we go, that's better. You can see me better now. But yeah, Lemos is currently at 148.504. JMR trying to go quicker and trying to overtake him. I think he's on the outlap at the minute, weaving the tyres around. Reigning champion, season 5 champion as well here at Thursday Night Racing League, and you know, it's great to have him back in a different colour Ferrari this time around with the Vodafone inspired liveried Ferrari as he goes a bit wide off the dirt out of Ascari, heading towards Parabolica as we speak. But 4 minutes 20. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But who knows exactly how close this is going to get, because JMR wants to go faster. He was on an outlap, so just under 4 minutes to go. So we'll see what's going to happen between the Ferrari and the Porsche. Chris Holland's doing well in the other Ferrari. So we are then 3.5 minutes into the remaining of free practice of season 7, round number 1 here at Monza. So we'll see how well tonight pans out. So yeah. But it's going to be very close to see what's going to happen with 3 minutes left of free practice. So we'll see what's going to happen for the racing. As I'm going to get a quick drink again. So we're getting ready then for, of course, the 10-minute qualifying session of the evening, the first ever one for season 7. So the first qualifying session of season 7 is about to be up and upon us. So we shall see what's going to happen. Jeremiah goes back into pit lane. He's trying to stop the rot of Lemos trying to win the championship again this season. Is he going to be able to do it? But who knows? Obviously, multiple now double champion in Thursday Night Racing League is JMR, but it will soon be very interesting as Hells goes up to 5th then in Tomia, 8-bit into 4th in the Bentley. So it looks like we've got some interesting times on the grid this evening, and I think Hells has just decided to go into pit lane, which is fair enough. DC Joe in the 77 Ferrari. So it's the same one as DC Fabio, the same colours I believe, but DC Jaws has more got green I believe. Joe Rick Jr. is missing from the lineup. I'm not too sure where some guys have gone this season. Maybe they've thought one season will be okay, but then hopefully the back as DC Joe drifts it, going out of Variante Ascari, but he held it quite well not to try and hit the barrier at great speed there as well. So we've got just under 56 seconds left then of free practice. It could be a very interesting night of racing, as I say, for Thursday Night Racing League for round number 1 of season 7 here at Monza for the PlayStation 4 lobby. And you know, I'm buzzing for this season. As I say, I've been commentating for 2.5 years on and off for these guys. I won't have it any other way on a 2-week basis on Thursday. It's just kind of frustrating that I don't have a PlayStation 5, or whereas the PS5 guys could have got a commentator that could have had me for commentary as well, but sadly not. But Captain Slowden in the white and black Lamborghini Huracan goes across the line as free practice now does end, so we're getting ready for the server to yet slightly reset, ready for qualifying. So that is going to be the all-important qualifying session for round number 1 then of season 7. If there's anything you want to know, guys, please do drop me a comment. I'll do my best to read it out as best as I can for you guys. And I'll if there's like anything you want to know regarding a driver, or you feel like there's something interesting that you want to know about the drivers, then please do let me know. I'm not going to kick off about it. I'm all for it. It's what I do as a commentator. But as I can tell you, 14 drivers at the moment, so it's 2 less drivers this evening, which nevertheless it is what it is. So we'll see what tonight brings for Thursday Night Racing League. As you can tell, I enjoy the commentary. You're probably thinking, what on earth is my accent? It's actually a West Midlands accent, so I do have the West Midlands twang. So I do apologise if some of my pronunciations are a bit different, or some of my sayings are like the Brummie term or the West Midlands term for certain things, but I'll try my best not to be into the West Midlands accent as much as the cars get ready now for qualifying, and the all important 10 minutes then. Who is going to get the first pole position of the season? We've got a couple of cars going out already out of pit lane. JMR is one of them, Chris Allen is another one, Hells is one, DC Joe is one, and number 3, that is Post Cirque, I believe, is another. Yes, Jeffrey is one. Lemos probably may wait for a minute. Actually, Lemos is, there's a car that already clipped the curbings, or gone off straight on at the first turn there, as we see Hells and JMR almost come together in qualifying. Don't want to be doing that. I think that was DC Joe that went straight on at the first turn there, I believe it would be. So Chris Allen is the first one to get clean air. BRNTZ is also on track. Future Avenger has gone out on track for the first time. He normally doesn't do qualifying, but I think he was trying to get used to seeing what qualifying was like, but now he's gone out on track, so fair play to him. Sky Pete, DC Fabio and NTZ19 are still in pit lane. Lemos is actually out of pit lane, so he is coming through towards the second chicane. He's got the Future Avenger, of course, Captain Slow ahead of him, but 8 minutes and 20 of qualifying left, so it is going to be a very quick qualifying session. Excuse me, as Lemos gets along Future Avenger, as well as, I believe that was Peter. Peter is somewhere. That is Captain Slow. Yeah, he's gone back into pit lane, maybe he's just decided. So there is all 14 cars are on the track for qualifying then, so that's quite interesting to see actually, as now Chris Allen now will have some traffic to deal with ahead of him going into the first corner. So Variante curve number 1, so we'll see what's going to happen here for this evening. But you know, he is going to be potentially setting the benchmark now. He will be one of them. The cars ahead of him, I think it is 777. That is Sly Pete. Yes, it is Sly Pete and BRNTZ. Yeah, that's correct. That is right there. But it's going to be very nice to see all 14 cars out for qualifying this evening and for this season. It's not the first time we've had all cars out on the grid though. All cars out for qualifying. We had some in season 5, season 4 I believe, and of course season 3, season 2 and as well as season 1. But it looks like there is a yellow flag somewhere. Who's gone into pit lane? That is Sly Pete. So I believe weaving about at the moment is DC Fabio. He's got to be careful. He's got a blue flag though, as the faster McLaren, trying to work out which McLaren of that is. That's the green and the green, I believe that was Jeffrey actually. Yeah, it was. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen. School Gambler in pit lane then. Probably just sat out for the session now because he's probably like caught up in traffic, which is fair point. You know, I don't blame the guys that if they want to start, you know, set out qualifying, just means they'll be starting from the back of the grid. But I can understand with it being the first race of the season, it can be nerves kicking in. Chris Allen about to break the beam, 150.091 of a second with 6 minutes to go. Lemos then will probably beat that. JMR though, however, 148.540, the reigning champion. Where is Lemos? Just trying to see where he is, going through, clipping the curbs there. He goes through Ascari, so he's on the way towards Parabolica. So let's see what Lemos is going to do. It's going to be quick. That Porsche is mighty quick. There's only one Porsche tonight though. I believe School Gamble has gone back out on track, so fair enough with 5.5 minutes to go in qualifying. Fair point to him as Lemos comes through Parabolica now. He sweeps round, about to go across the start finish line. It is going to be very quick to see what is going to happen there, as he goes second, so he splits the Ferraris at the moment. He's second on the grid. Could be very interesting to see what Lemos will do for the remaining 5 minutes of qualifying. There's a yellow flag somewhere. I'm trying to figure out who that would have been, as Peter's there in the Lamborghini Huracan. I think DC Fabio was also involved, but very hard to tell. Chris Holland third, Insomnia 8-bit in, of course fourth, DC Joe fifth, Hells in sixth, Jeffrey in seventh, and of course Sly P 8th, Captain Slow 9th, DC Fabio 10th, Future Avenger 11th, Pollock 6th, or Polasic or Cirque, I'll try and pronounce his name correctly for round number 2, and School Gambler and BRNTZ are yet to set times, as Jeffrey stays 7th, so yeah, Sly Pete is another driver that needs to set a lap time, with of course JMR gone fastest again with that Ferrari, so he's on pole position. That's DC Joe, Hells and Tommy 8-bit have swapped places. They've kind of done a role reversal. 4 minutes remaining then of qualifying. JMR could be getting pole position. DC Joe goes into pit lane, probably sits out the rest of 4 minutes, maybe. Who knows, he might be setting up his setup, might be just adjusting it slightly. There's Lemos clear track ahead of him, just about. He's got the number 3 McLaren, I believe that is number 3 McLaren, yes it will be. But that'll be very interesting. So you got Peter 10th there, so it's going to be very close as Lemos goes across the line. What does he do this time? He still stays second at the moment. He's not doing well round here at the moment. It's Lemos. He's got to push on, especially in the race. But he's currently still second in. Still second on the grid at the moment, as Insomnia 8-bit goes at 4th fastest again. So Insomnia 8-bit and the Bentley Continental GT, the number 6 machine, doing very well indeed, I must say. And JMR's got Chris Allen for company. I believe Yuri is not racing this evening. I believe that is JMR's teammate again for this season rather. In the Lamborghini Huracan. It'd be nice to see Yuri back. You know, it's been a quite interesting qualifying session so far. There's Chris Allen and of course JMR go across the line together. This could be a very interesting lap time from Chris Allen as well as JMR. JMR actually goes to 147.895 of a second at the moment. 2 minutes 21 left on the clock. So we've still got a bit of an interesting qualifying session. We've got 3 drivers yet to set times in qualifying. That's of course Future Revenge School Gambler. Actually goes up to 8 fastest, just to speak about that. And the number 23 McLaren, fantastic lap time from the gold and black McLaren 720 SGT3 car. So that's very interesting. Sly Pete is of course 13th at the moment. Future Revenge is yet to set a lap time, but he's got 1 minute and 50 seconds to go. As you can see, the marker posts at the or the boards to not tell them to cut the chicane have gone down. The polystyrene boards, it's probably what we heard on stream before, as we've got the opening laps or the out laps, as Lemos is currently still in second place at the moment. He's struggling around here at the moment. 1 minute and 25 seconds to go. So is Lemos going to be able to? You got the likes of Jeffrey, DC Joe, and Captain Slow at the moment in pit lane. Maybe just waiting for obviously qualifying now to finish, because you know they're probably thinking, right, my time is done. There's a yellow flag somewhere, but then it got quickly withdrawn. So we'll see exactly how well that goes. We've got of course Polis Cirque, I think that's how you pronounce it. I do apologise if he is watching the stream and I am butchering his name. I do apologise. I'm not the best at pronouncing names as he gets crossed up there. That's kind of nearly held up Lemos as well, but who knows what's going to happen there. Lemos currently season 5 and of course season 6 runner up, so what's he going to do this season? Is he going to go one better and actually try and win the title from JMR this time round, or is JMR going to make it 3 from 3? But we've got around 25 seconds left of course qualifying. I'm just going to make sure I'm still heard on stream. Yeah, I am. That's good. Still heard on stream. But who's going to take the first pole position? And JMR still there, but Lemos is coming out towards the Parabolica, so he is going to be the one to watch, I think, this time round. Go on board with Lemos. He's got 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and then now qualifying is now over and done with. Is he going to abandon the lap, or is he going to go one quicker? Let's have a look. He goes, still stays second. Still stays second at the moment for for qualifying for race number 1 of season 7. So then JMR on to pole position then. Unless Sly Pete decides to do anything quicker with going out of course Parabolica, but I highly doubt it. He's obviously going to be crossing the line in 13th, I believe. No, he's not. He goes 10th. I do apologise. He went 10th fastest, and then you got Future Revenge, who just goes and abandons his lap at the end of a very tense and very fraught qualifying session. So it's JMR from Lemos, followed by Chris Allen. Fair play to Chris Allen in the 28 Ferrari to get onto P3 on the grid. Then you got Hell's School Gambler up into 5th. What a move. That's probably paid off, pardon the pun, paid the gamble and then got into 5th place. So fair play to School Gambler there to get into 5th. Into 8-bit 6th, Jeffrey in 7th then. And then, of course, DC Joe, BR, NZT in 9th, Sly Pete rather, and Polisirc, in, of course, 10th and 11th, Captain Slow 12th, DC Fabio in 13th, and then Future Revenge. And, of course, 14th, the guys are getting ready then for a formation lap. It will be a formation lap for the first race. I believe it will also be formation laps throughout this season. So I'll throw up the helicam just while the guys are getting on with their setups. just if you are watching the stream, guys, can you please like and subscribe to Thursday Night Racing League? Help me out massively. It helped these guys out, and you know, we'll see how well that goes. It's going to be very close to see what's going to happen there. But it's going to be very exciting indeed, I must say, for Season 7. So yeah, just getting ready for the guys to literally jump on to onto the grid for potentially a lot of things. I do apologise. Okay, mate. Yeah, I'll call you Polly then. It makes it easier for me, mate. I do apologise. I butchered your name so many times, so I do apologise, my friend. You're new to me, and I do try my best to literally get that out there. And if I've mispronounced it, I do apologise. I'm not the best at pronunciations, but thank you for reassuring me. I can call you something different. So thank you for that. But we are getting ready then for the first formation lap of Season 7 then. It is a bit warm in the comms box. It's a bit warm out on track at the moment as well. So we'll see exactly what is going to happen for the first round of Season 7, round number 1 here at Monza, the Palace of Speed as it's known, as JMR gets them ready then for the formation lap. It is quite annoying because I can't flick through the drivers for the formation lap. I wish there was a way the grid would actually scroll at the bottom and help me out to know where people are, but it'll be okay because we'll flip to the cameras very soon. But JMR then, what's he going to do? Is he going to get a clean start? It's all about getting a clean start into here. Retifilio, there you go. I remembered the corner name from previous. And you've got Variante, the Roger chicane. There you go. See, I'm getting into the swing of it now. I do know some of the corners here at Monza, of course. You've got Curva Grande, then you've got, of course, Lesmo 1, Lesmo 2, then, of course, Variante Ascari, and then, of course, going towards the final turn of Parabolica. So, hopefully, I don't butcher the corner names up throughout the stream. If I do, then I do. But, as you can tell, I am absolutely buzzing for the first race of the season, as I always will be. JMR works long and hard with that steering just to try and make sure the car's getting tyre temperature, brake temperature, you name it, getting into the zone for round number 1. He's probably thinking, what have I got to do to stop that guy alongside me, Lemos in the 24 Porsche, from getting away into the race lead. Hopefully everyone makes it through Variante Retifilio in peace. I hope there's no dive bombs or any stupidity. I'm sure there won't be, but as you can see, all the guys are trying to catch up to the train. There's no safety cars in, unfortunately, Thursday Night Racing League. Otherwise the pace car would be leading them round and then obviously pulling into pit lane. But it looks like everyone is around. Just looking who's missing from towards the rear of the field. But JMR then going up towards the Variante Ascari. We'll see exactly what's going to happen. But we've got Polly in the number 3 McLaren, so that'll help me massively. I'll try and remember that throughout the stream if you're watching, mate. But yes, you've got JMR then going through Ascari now. They will be getting into grid order as they reach the back end of course, Ascari, as well as heading towards Parabolica, just to get that out there. Looks like JMR is trying to get a bit of a jump. As you can see, the car's now trying to go into grid formation. I think that is actually just Peter, Future Avenger at the back. I do apologise. Peter was in the Bentley last season, but we are getting ready then The fans are loving it. Baking hot here in Italy for what is going to be a thrilling start to the season. There's a couple of cars trying to get into grid formation. It looks like some don't know where they're starting, or do know where they're starting, as they're going side by side into Parabolica. This is where hopefully there's no incidences further back. The timing screen will throw a wobbler to start with. If you're new to the stream, it will throw it to me. It probably will throw it to them guys as well, but hopefully we get some clean racing in towards Variante Rettifilio. But I'll soon find out in a moment or two what's going to happen. Who's going to be the bravest, though? I don't think there's going to be any issues, but Praga Dragon 89 goes School Gambler. Oh, so we've got a School Gambler fan. As we are lights out and away we go then. What's happening further back? It looks like the likes of Polly and of course some of the guys in the McLarens are putting up a mean fight already, going towards the Rettifilio. Then let's go and see who's going to be first on the brakes. Got to be very careful going into here, not to dive bomb a lot of people, but so far so good. Chris Allen gets a bit of a spin in, of course, and then you got of course School Gambler there. That's didn't help by Chris Allen getting spun around there. I think he got a bit of a tap going into, of course, the rest of the video, but hopefully that's not damaged him too much. But his perfect grid spot came to a bit of an abrupt end there, as JMR now has to chase after Lemos going into, of course, the Variante Rogers chicane. He's going to try and push on, but as I say, the time screen is throwing a bit of a wobble at the moment. But JMR in second, then Hells up into third in the McLaren, the 22 Rocket Jet. I think it's the JNR Racing McLaren. We'll soon find out. We'll soon find out what's going to happen there. But we've got School Gambler up in, of course, 4th place at the moment. There's BRNTZ currently battling with Polly there in the sky. McLaren, so the McLarens are flying up the order, but we head towards, of course, Variante Ascari. There's BRNTZ's trying to push on, trying to get past Polly, but he can't do it this time round. But oh no, Hells has gone in the McLaren. He's lost it on the exit of course, lost it on course the exit of Variante Ascari. So Lemos currently leads the way, then followed by JMR, and then of course now that will be School Gambler up into third. So School Gambler, who had a perfect lap time in qualifying, now is up into third in the gold McLaren. Then of course Insomnia 8-bit, I believe that's where he is, as pit lane is actually now open. So we'll try and figure out where everyone is very soon, but we've got Polly in 7th, followed by BRNTZ thereabouts, the South African driver who made his debut at, of course, Kyle Army towards the, well, at the end of last season. So it's McLaren. McLarens are 6th, 7th and 8th at the moment, but we've got one in third with the likes of School Gambler at the moment, with the likes of Jeffrey under threat from Chris Allen at the moment, going into the Variante Rettifilio. So it's very close to see Slide Pete there 13th, DC Fabio 14th at the moment. Whether he's hanging on for a bit, we'll see what's going to happen. But JMR's now getting a bit closer. We'll go back to the battles further around the field when we do get a chance. We'll just try and see what happens. But at the moment then we'll go on board with JMR trying to get up to, of course, Lemos into Lesmo 2 then. He's going to have to try and push on for quite some time to try and get where he wants to be, to get past that Porsche's. Oh, there's 2 cars off in the background there. I believe that was DC Joe and Hells. Yes, it was. They've had a bit of contact together, which I think there's just a bit of slight contact going out of Lesmo 2, which didn't help at all. But it's only cosmetic, I believe, so that's not too bad for them too. But it's dropped them down, which is something 8-bit and School Gambler, of course, are thereabouts. But there's quite a few cars maybe trying to push on as Jeffrey gets through on Chris Allen and Ascari. So that's going to be very close to 28. Ferrari needs to push on. He's now in the pro category, so he's finding life in the pro category a bit tough at the moment. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Lemos still leads then. Let's see what's happening further back. We've got the Peter in the Lamborghini at the moment currently. Where is he? I think he's in 12th place, followed by DC Fabio and of course Polly in the McLaren and Ferrari at the moment. But to tell you what, the battle is hotting up for the race lead at the moment, very slightly between JMR and Lemos at the moment. But then you've got School Gambler and of course in something at 8-bit thereabouts you've got DC Joe Hells. There's quite a few cars actually going into the rest of Filio, almost nose to tail at the moment. But Chris Allen is there. You've got Jeffrey still pushing on. There's quite a few, you know, everyone's still together. You've got the likes of Peter, Polly and DC Fabio, they're still battling, so we'll see what's happening between, of course, Lemos and, of course, JMR as we go in towards, is it Lesmo 2? No, we've gone out of Lesmo 2, I do apologise, they've escaped up the road from me, but seems like School Gambler and, of course, Insomnia 8-bit is BRNTZ19 still in 5th. Then we've got DC Joe 6th, Hells in 7th, Future Revenge and Jeffrey in, of course, 9th place at the moment with Silver Boot, aka Chris Allen currently in 10th place at the moment. But we'll see what's going on. JMR, has JMR closed that gap? Yes, he has. He's closed it slightly as we get ready for another lap though. So kickstarting lap number 3, I believe it's either lap number 3 or it's lap number 2. But there's quite a lot of cars nose to tail going into, of course, Parabolica as Jeffrey gets a move on Future Revenge. I think Future Revenge either got a bit of an issue or he tried to defend from Chris Allen, but it could be very interesting to see what's going to happen between the pair of them as we go down the start finish line for what could be a very interesting moment or two between the Ferrari and the Bentley as the Ferrari gets alongside as well as the McLaren. This could be very close to see what's going to happen. Future Revenge alongside Chris Allen alongside Future Revenge going into the rest of Filio, almost nose to tail, but he gets past the Bentley Continental GT of course Future Revenge at the moment. Let's see what's happening with Sly Pete, Captain Slow and Polly and of course DC Fabio, all still surviving the opening laps here at Monza for round number 1 of the Thursday Night Racing League as we see JMR trying to close up to Lemos. Lemos is actually running a bit wide going out of the Lesmos there, but School Gambler is under pressure from, of course, Insomnia 8-bit at the moment, so this could be very close to see what's going to happen between these two. Go on board with the Bentley Continental GT then, the number 6 machine, but could be very close to see what's going to happen excuse me, between these two going into Variante Ascari at the moment. But it's all or nothing at the moment between these two. We've got BRNTZ still 5th, DC Joe 6th, Hells under threat from Jeffrey going into, of course, Ascari as he gets a bit of a tap. I don't know whether he had a bit of a tap or he's got some kind of issues there, so that's dropped him way down the order. So that's probably now dropped him down to potentially, oh, Peter's gone off there in the Lamborghini Huracan. The likes of Polly chasing him down. Looks like there's quite a few cars at the moment having a bit of issues at the moment. Polly's trying to get alongside Peter's Lamborghini. Is he going to be able to do it into Parabolica? Let's have a look. Oh, he's done it very insane. Well done. An absolute nice move as well. But that's going to be quite interesting. Got the likes of now Hells is down into, of course, a lowly now 11th place. But then you got Captain Slow trying to chase after Polly at the moment in that McLaren. That's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen between them. But JMR at the moment is trying to push on, but I believe Polly was under threat from Peter's Lamborghini, I beg your pardon. It's a McLaren versus Lamborghini battle at the moment. It could be very close to see what's going to happen. He's in a McLaren, sort of a McLaren sandwich, is he? No, he's not. He's not. It's just me, I believe it is the Ferrari. But it's somebody at 8-bit still trying to chase after School Gamble at the moment with an hour and 6 minutes left in the race. We're not even at a halfway stage yet. But this is where it's going to get very tricky. We're only roughly around, yeah, so an hour and coming to an hour and 6 minutes left. The race as Insomnia 8-bit tries to catch up towards School Gamble at the moment with JMR and of course Lemos still battling for galore there, but then you've got DC Joe, then you've got Jeffrey, and of course Chris Allen. Chris Allen trying to jump on to the back of the 765 McLaren, going down the back straight then towards Parabolica. It could be very interesting to see what's going to happen. We've still got 14 cars still on the grid at the moment, so, well, on track, but still a long way to go in this race as we get quite close to the action for what could be an interesting night of racing. As I say, it's already pushing on quite a bit as Insomnia 8-bit tries to get up towards the back of School Gambler at the moment, but who knows what that's going to bring, but could be very close to see how close that's going to get between the Bentley and the McLaren in a minute. But DC Joe's still there, and of course 6th, Jeffrey still in, of course. 7th for Chris Allen, now back up to 8th in his prime, hopefully pushing on to get back up further where he needs to be, but we'll soon find out exactly how close that's going to go. You got the likes of Future Revenge, Hells still in 10th, Slide Pete trying to chase after Hells, and then got Polly followed by Captain Slow, and of course DC Fabio rounded up the field. But we can see what's going on at the moment between Lemos and of course JMR. JMR's got a bit of a gap of 1.7 to try and chase after that Porsche at the moment. There's only one Porsche on the grid tonight as well, so it's going to be close to see what's going to happen between the likes of JMR and of course Lemos when it comes to their consecutive strategies, as well as School Gambler and Insomnia 8-bit. But it's all or nothing at the moment between these two. They're closest to each other at the moment. We'll try and figure out what's going on there in a bit, but then we've also got a bit of a gap between Chris Allen and Jeffrey at the moment. Jeffrey trying to push on in that green, black and orange McLaren, the 720S, but who knows what's going to happen there. But it's going to be quite quick to see what happens between Chris Allen and of course Jeffrey at the moment. Could be very close to see what's going to happen, but you know, 1 hour and 3 minutes left of this race. There's still a long way to go in the opening round of the Thursday Night Racing League for Season 7, the PlayStation 4 lobby here at Monza. But it's going to be quite close. We'll see whether Chris Allen can catch up to Jeffrey going into Variante Rettifilio. But who knows what's going to happen there. We've got a few cars, got the likes of Polly and of course Sly Pete trying to battle their way through as well, so it's very interesting to see what the two McLarens, the Sky McLaren versus the the Sky McLaren versus the blue, purplish blue McLaren. I'll see what happens between there. We've got of course Hells ahead of them. Lemos is getting away from JMR at the moment, but we'll see what Insomnia 8-bit. He's getting very closer and closer to the back of School Gambler going into Ascari. That could be a very interesting battle in a couple of laps, I bet, you know. But who was that? That was School Gambler getting a bit crossed up there. It's going to be very close. He gets the switchback, gets a bit of air. I think maybe he got caught in a bit of dirty air there and it kind of just snaked him a bit, but he's catching up to Insomnia 8-bit yet again, so he's still catching up. But Chris Allen and of course Jeffrey's a bit of a gap between him and Chris Allen at the moment, with Sly Pete and of course Polly at the moment trying to push on, but they've got Hells ahead of them. But it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. We've got School Gambler trying to make a move onto Insomnia 8-bit going into the Rettifilio. He's not done it this time, but you know, a bit of a late break for Insomnia 8-bit there going into towards Curve Grande. Now it's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do. But we've got just coming up to an hour left of this race then, so it's already 15 minutes old nearly, this race, but could be very close to see what's going to happen between these guys. The the McLaren and the Bentley. Let's have a look at this battle between these two as we go into Lesmo 1. It could be very close between the Bentley and the McLaren, the 23 versus the number 6 Bentley Continental GT. Let's see what's going to happen here going into Lesmo 2. It looks like Insomnia 8-bits just trying to keep it nice and cool and keep it together to get away from the likes of School Gambler at the moment. But School Gambler, is he going to make the gamble and try and make a move into Variante Ascari? Not quite. He's trying to push on. Hopefully he doesn't get Hefty 2 involved as Insomnia 8-bit goes a bit wide. Chris Allen still trying to catch up to Jeffrey at the moment in that 28 Ferrari against the McLaren. Let's have a look what's happening between Polly, Sly Pete and Hells. I think Future Revenge is there, so yeah, there's quite a few cars that are having a bit of insane battles at the moment as JMR still tries to catch up to Lemos. It's very quickly to see what's going to happen, so it's almost an hour to go in this race. It's just ticked down to now just under an hour left in this race then, so just under an hour left to go in this opening round of Season 7, round number 1 here at Monza for the PlayStation 4 Thursday Night Racing League lobby. But who knows what's going to happen. We've got some quite quick cars out here tonight, got some quick pedalers and machines as well, so at the moment anything is happening at the moment. You've got the likes of Jeffrey holding off Chris Allen at the moment, followed by Future Revenge, and of course Hells is currently trying to chase down, but I believe Polly's trying to chase after him. The other 720S, I think that's the Sky Tempesta racing machine, I believe. I could be wrong, but he's trying to catch up towards to, of course, Hells at the moment. He's going to try and push on. I think Dunk's trying to get away from him. It could be a very close battle between these two in a moment or two, but I believe if that could open up a bit of a McLaren sandwich for these two, but who knows what's happened. They're still pushing on, but I believe that is a very interesting sort of quite close as to go into Lesmo 1, then out towards Lesmo 2. JMR, however, slowly but surely catching up to Lemos. But then you've got the likes of Insomnia 8-bit trying to get away from School Gambler, which he is doing quite well at the moment. But then you've got the likes of Hells trying to get away from, of course, Polly, and of course Sly Pete at the moment. Sly Pete literally trying to catch these guys up as well. This could be a very close as we get towards we're not even at the halfway stage of the race yet, but no one's pitted yet as Polly goes off at Variante Ascari exit. Oh, he's binned it. That's unfortunate. That's kind of now a bit of a disaster, because that would have been a great battle between the two cars there, but that's allowed Captain Slow, aka Peter, to catch him up now, so it's going to be a bit all or nothing. He's going to have to try and work hard to get back into sort of the top 10. Oh, who was that gone off? Was that Polly's gone off again at the Parabolica there. That's unfortunate for him, but it's going to be very close to see what happens. I'm just trying to figure out, have we lost anyone? Don't think we have. Oh yeah, Polly goes into pit lane then. So you got DC Fabio there in the Ferrari, and then you got, of course, School Gambler and Insomnia 8-bit still pushing on, but it's quite interesting to see what's going to happen. JMR still pushing on to try and get up to Lemos with around 57 minutes remaining, but then you got Insomnia 8-bit and then, of course, School Gambler thereabouts, and then you've got at the moment DC Joe trying to get away from the likes of Jeffrey, Chris Allen, as well as Future Revenge. Hells is still there trying to catch up to Future Revenge, and of course Polly in pit lane then, maybe to put some clean tyres on maybe, but who knows what's going to happen there as DC Fabio tries to push on for quite some time. So we'll soon figure excuse me, we'll soon figure out what's going to happen between Lemos and JMR with 56 minutes left of this race. It's still a long way to go. It's as you know, it's kind of quite close to see what's going to happen between these two, but Insomnia 8-bit still holding on for third at the moment. Fair play to him. There's a bit of a battle going through the Parabolica. I'm going to try and join that battle between Future Revenge and of course Hells at the moment. Hells is trying to push on as best as he can. You can see what's happening here, but I don't know whether he's struggling at the moment because it looks like he's getting away from Future Revenge. Is getting away from him, but it could be very close to see what's going to happen there. But excuse me, as Hells tries to catch up towards Future Revenge. It looks like he was a bit slow going down the front excuse me, down the front straight, but he may not be. It might be just the way it is at the moment, but it's very close to see what's going to happen. You've got Lemos and JMR there. Still there's a slow car somewhere on track, it tells me, but I don't think so. I think it's just the other two were slow going out of Variante and Scari. You got Insomnia 8-bit, School Gambler third and fourth. You've got this battle here now. This is going to be a great battle between DC Joe and no, it's not, because I do apologise. Oh, DC Joe gets clipped over the curb at Variante Scari. That, oh no. So that's allowed Jeffrey and of course Chris Allen to get up nose to tail as the camera doesn't like it. We'll throw the helicam up, but Jeffrey thinks about it, so does Chris Allen. They're almost side by side going through the Parabolica. What a stellar move by Chris Allen. He's got that sewn up. It looked like DC Joe's had a bit of an accident at, of course, Variante Scari. It still keeps going though, but he will probably be pitting this time around because he probably has picked up a bit of substantial amount of damage. We've got who we've got here? We've got Hells and Future Revenge. They're still battling. Very interesting to see how well they're doing with 54 minutes to go on the clock. So it's quite some time as of yet, but quite interesting to see what's going to happen between the McLaren and the Bentley at the moment. But poor old DC Joe down in of course 8th place at the moment. He's actually stayed out. It's probably not a lot as damage as he thought, but it's going to be quite close to see what's going to happen. We're seeing the likes of Lemos and JMR trying to push on, just trying to see what's going on here as the stream has a bit of a jump and a hiccup, but I don't think it's too bad. I think the likes of Hells and of course Future Revenge at the moment going through the logical chicane are going to be pushing on. They're going to be pushing towards the Lesmo, so Lesmo 1 and then Lesmo 2. Could be very interesting to see what happens. We've got around 33 minutes to go in the opening race of the championship then. So it has been quite enthralling so far. So good though. The likes of the other cars, I'm trying to figure out the other ones. So you got the likes of Jeffrey, Chris Allen, Chris Allen, I do apologise. It looked like Polly was obviously trying to join that, but they're a lap down though at the moment. You got Insomnia 8-bit and of course School Gambler at the moment trying to push on us. Is that DC Joe yet again? Yes it is, or is it? Or is it Fabio? No, it's DC Joe, I do apologise. Looks like DC Joe's had a bit of a nightmare yet again going into a Scari. That's not going to do him any good. And this time round he's got Peter behind him. But 52 minutes left on the clock then. Just about 52 minutes. But it could be very interesting to see what happens. I don't know whether DC Joe's heading to pit lane. Yes, he's headed to pit lane. He's got a bit of now substantial more damage on that Ferrari as JMR tries to chase after Lemos. We forgot about these two. But Lemos currently leading a race then. Is he going to make it the first victory of the season? Is he going to try and win the championship this season from JMR? That's the question we've all been wondering throughout the 2-week off break. But we'll soon figure out how close that's going to get. You got Insomnia 8-bit trying to push on. Excuse me. From of course School Gambler. Fair play, the newcomers doing exceptionally well. We got BRNTZ 19 still 5th, Chris Allen 6th, Jeffrey trying to chase him down still, and of course 7th place at the moment. Future Revenge is trying to figure out where he is. He's got Hells right up and close onto his gearbox. Hells has got to be careful because he has got, of course, the other McLaren of Sly Pete behind him. As we go into Ascari, as Future Revenge goes rally crossing Ascari. Oh, that was close as you like. That was Future Revenge almost having a brown pants moment there at Variante Ascari. As we went on board with Hells, and we just saw that Bentley stop there in the middle of Ascari, but luckily they didn't hit each other. That was very close indeed, but that's now allowed the likes of Sly Pete to catch up to Hells at the moment. But DC Joe currently still in pit lane, repaired his Ferrari. The crew have worked long and hard to get that Ferrari back out on the grid for season 7, as DC Fabio has a bit of battle scars as well, but nevertheless it's been was a bit of a heart in the mouth moment for probably Hells there, thinking please don't re-pull, because if you re-pull and smash into me it's not going to look good. But fair play to Future Revenge for avoiding an incident there, but fair play to him. But that's now allowed Peter to catch them up as well. Jeremiah still trying to catch up to Lemos. They got Insomnia 8-bit followed by School Gambler. These two have gone nose to tail, but then you got Jeffrey versus Chris Allen at the moment. We'll go on board with Chris Allen, not Chris Allen, go on board with Jeffrey's McLaren. So we'll see what's going to happen here. Just under 49 minutes to go roughly now in this opening race of the championship then. It's looking very good. I must say the racing's been quite sensible, if I'm honest. It's not been a very big issue, but you know, we've got some cars that are quick. You know, Chris Allen's still trying to catch up to Jeffrey. You got Hells still. I don't know whether Hells has got past or no. Sly Pete's trying to still catch him up, and you got Captain Slow trying to catch them up as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's happening with around 48, just coming up to 48 minutes remaining. So the clock is winding down, so not even at the halfway stage yet. Not even at the halfway stage of the race. We probably will be very soon. The clock is getting towards the halfway point, but fair play to these guys, fair play. It's going to be very close as you like, though. We can just see Jeremiah. What's he doing? Oh, I thought Lemos had was second then, but it's not. Looks like he's still leading, but they've got a car ahead of them. Who is that? I believe that is DC Joe. I believe, yes it is. That's ahead. And got to around 48 minutes to go in the race, but I thought Lemos had made a mistake, but no, he hadn't. So I do apologise for that, ladies and gents, if you're fans of Lemos, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens as Insomnia 8-bit and School Gambler still go. Almost, not nose to tail as much as they were, but Jeffrey and of course Chris Allen are still there, but you know, fast approaching what could be a thrilling 47 minutes remaining of the opening race of the championship. I tell you what, it's been so far so good. There's not been any stupid moves, there's not been any silly accidents, but see Chris Allen trying to push on, trying to get away from Jeffrey at the moment. As you can see what will happen there potentially. Hopefully Chris Allen, you know, knows what to do. He's back up in 6th place, started 3rd in the race then, but it's still a long way to go in this race at the moment, with Lemos still trying to push on to get thereabouts. He's still, of course, race leader, followed by Jeremiah, Insomnia 8-bit. Excuse me. Insomnia 8-bit, and of course, third at the moment on his debut, followed by School Gambler, followed by BRNTZ, in of course 5th, Chris Allen 6th, Jeffrey, or Jeff Bry, in of course in 7th. Hells has gone into pit lane, so that could be a mandatory. Pete, Sly Pete, and of course 8th. Captain Slow, aka Peter, and of course 9th now with Hell's gone into pit lane, with Dunk gone into pit lane. Future Revenge also stays out 11th. He'll soon be 10th because obviously with Hell's in pit lane. DC Fabio 12th, and of course Polly, and of course 13th, and DC Joe back into pit lane. Has it been a bit of a torrid time for the number 77 Ferrari driver? I think so, as Lemos is about to cross the line for another lap, but JMR still there, and of course second. Insomnia 8-bit doing a stellar job in third at the moment, so could be very interesting to see what's going to happen for, of course, Insomnia 8-bit, but looking very good for the Bentley Continental so far this evening. And I'll tell you what, it has been, as I say, pretty much a decent night of racing for these guys. Skull Gambler, and of course 4th after a bit of a moment earlier on, but nevertheless he's worked his way back up into 4th, so it just shows exactly what can happen. There wasn't really much issues going into Variante Rettifilo on lap 1. I think obviously with Chris Allen spinning around, it caught a few people off guard, but nevertheless it's then kind of pushed them up. But then obviously, speaking of Chris Allen, he's now dropped down to 6th place from, of course, Jeffrey now, as Chris Allen has a bit of an issue. Whether he's got issues, I don't know. Hells is now out of pit lane, so that's dropped him down the order in 12th. And you've got DC Joe and of course Polly now going into pit lane. Is Polly going to make his mandatory? He's not a lap down at the moment. Stop go penalty though for speeding. I think that is for speeding in pit lane. For 30 seconds for DC Joe. That's going to get from bad to worse for the 77 Ferrari. Sly Pete also in pit lane. Catches a few guys off guard, the pit lane limiter, but maybe let go of the limiter too quickly. But Sly Pete's also in pit lane now, so the 777 McLaren 720S is in pit lane. So we've got around 44 minutes to go then of the opening round of Thursday Night Racing League, round number 1. Season 7 of the PlayStation 4 lobby for Thursday Night Racing League from Monza. I hope you're enjoying the stream, ladies and gents. I hope you can give this a massive thumbs up. It will help me out for commentary. It will also help the guys out get recognition for their racing. If you do want to enter, I believe the grid is actually full for this season. Not too sure on the PS5 grid, but if you are on PlayStation, either on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, I'm sure there'll be some room at some point in the season, as DC Joe has that stop-go penalty hanging over his head. He's probably not looking forward to hearing that on the pit radio, but we've got, of course, Sly Pete coming out. Just got to be careful. Chris Allen obviously coming down the start-finish line, but fair play to him. He is now down in 11th, but fair play, he will obviously be there. Lemos is still leading the race there from JMR. Then JMR, where is JMR? The timing screen and cameras have decided to say he's non-existent when he's still second on the grid, but he's still there trying to push up to Lemos. It'll be very interesting to see how well they handle the remaining 42 minutes of the race. I think it is near enough towards the halfway stage very soon, but to see JMR get a bit crossed up out of Scary there, as we've got Insomnia 8-bit into Ascari, as I think the two McLarens were almost side by side. It made a bit of an echo, surprisingly. No, it wasn't, it was a Ferrari, I beg your pardon. But who knows what's going to happen with the likes of Skull Gambler trying to push on for what could be a very interesting 4th place if it stays like this. I believe BRNTZ still 5th. Yeah, Jeffrey also in another McLaren in 6th, followed by Chris Allen's Ferrari, Captain Slow in the Lamborghini Huracan, and then of course Future Revenge in, of course, 9th, followed by DC Fabio, Sly Pete, and then of course Hells, and then Polly getting a lap done by, of course, Insomnia 8-bit. But you've got DC Joe then, whether he's stop and go penalty for, oh, there's a car off there. That is looking likely. Trying to figure out who that is. It's 63. And 63 is... Trying to figure out who 63 was. 63 was Peter and the Lamborghini. I don't know whether he went off, but DC Joe's stop go penalty now has been cleared, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Going into the latter half with 41 minutes remaining in the opening round of Season 7. But who knows what's happened, because JMR is currently getting held up by Future Revenge there, going out of Vascari, which isn't going to help him massively to catch up to, of course, Lemos. Lemos is still going through Parabolica, so there was quite a bit of gaps there, but not really major gaps there as Peter goes in. Lemos goes in then, so race leader with 40 minutes on the clock to go, as that leads now JMR to get into the race lead. Could this be an interesting strat from, of course, Lemos at the moment, it seems, but that'll allow now Insomnia 8-bit up into, of course, second, followed by School Gambler into third, so could be very interesting to see what happens. Lemos stationary at the moment. It's quite an interesting moment there for Lemos there, but second place in the race then. Dropping a bit of places now. Chris Allen will be thereabouts. He knows that Lemos is there. DC Fabio still 10th. Hell's currently in 11th. Sly Pete in 12th. Polly 13th, and DC Joe currently 14th. But yes, it is showing exactly quite great potential for some of the guys at the moment, as Lemos goes out of pit lane then. That is dropped him. I think that has actually dropped him down to 4th, maybe potentially 5th. Yes, I'm trying to see where he is. It could be 5th, it could be 6th. I'm just trying to work out on the timing screen at the moment, because the timing screen does throw a wobbler. It's dropped him down to 7th. So that's going to be a bit of a mammoth task, but then the likes of JMR and the guys ahead of Lemos have got to pit, so if Lemos doesn't get held up in traffic, he'll probably retake the race lead at some point. Got the likes of Future Revenge and DC Fabio have yet to take their excuse me, take their mandatory pit stop as well, so it's quite, you know, it's quite close to see how that's going to happen. But you know, there's a car off there. That is 574. That is, of course, Future Revenge off at Parabolica. He had a bit of a torrid time this evening in the Bentley Continental GT. I don't know what he's trying to do at the moment as DC Fabio goes into pit lane. I think he's actually just trying to not go straight on and cause any issues for the guys coming at Parabolica, so fair point to, of course, Future Revenge there. It looks like the car's had a bit of substantial damage, so he goes into pit lane as we speak. So School Gambler is also in pit lane, so that's quite interesting to see what happens. JMR still leading then with around 37 and a half minutes to go in the halfway stage of the race then. So at halfway mark then, JMR leads for the first time this evening, but hopefully he carries on that memento that he did in, of course, Season 5 and, of course, Season 6. But it looks like at the moment, the way things are going, it's not even finished. It's not even finished. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen. It's halfway through the race then. So we're just going to see what JMR is going to do. Is there anyone else that is going to push on for... Yeah, so JMR pits then this time, so he pits at the halfway mark. So we'll see exactly how well that's going to pan out for JMR as Insomnia 8-bit comes through towards Parabolica. But Insomnia 8-bit now inherits the race lead. Lemos is up to 6th, but he's got a car ahead of him at the moment. But Future Avenger is also in pit lane, but he's probably had quite a lot of damage there, so he's going to have to push on with the likes of JMR still thereabouts. But Chris Allen is also going into pit lane, as well as Jeffrey in the other 720S. Lemos is currently coming through Parabolica, which JMR is still out in pit lane, but it's coming out off the jacks. It's going to be a bit of a close battle between the Ferrari and, of course, the Porsche driver at the moment, as we see here that JMR is actually, where is he? I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, Lemos has just gone through Variante Rettifilio, so JMR was currently going through there, so that is now allowed Lemos to get the overlap from, of course, JMR, so anything can happen in this race. But drive-through penalty for track limits for Peter. Oh no, excuse me. That's a bit unfortunate for Peter at the moment. Drive-through penalty for track limits. He's not going to like that one bit. So he's going to have to push on. So he's got drive-through penalty with around 34 minutes to go as Insomnia 8-bit. Yet to do his mandatory pit stop, trying to get through into obviously a bigger gap. So when it does come to his pit stop from Lemos, that he's going to try and hold up the likes of Lemos, but who knows. But Lemos is trying to push on. So Lemos then trying to push up to get away from, of course, JMR, and they're also trying to catch up to, of course, the likes of Insomnia 8-bit at the moment. Peter currently still with that drive-through penalty for track limits. Is he going to take it this time round? Probably not, but he's got 2 laps to go to take it, otherwise the stewards will black flag him, and he doesn't want that on his first race as Insomnia 8-bit still there. There's not many battles galore though going on at the moment, so I think the likes of Chris Allen and is that School Gambler? Yes, School Gambler and BR NTZ currently still there. There's a car off at the chicane here, 77 I believe that is, and I think that is actually DC Joe. Yes it is, he's gone off again. He's suffering quite a bit with that Ferrari this evening here at Monza, but it's going to be very interesting. Is Insomnia 8-bit going to pit this time round, or is he still building that gap? He's probably still building that gap to get away from Lemos, because he knows for a fact, yes, he will have obviously the mandatory to do, but he will push on to see what will happen. But fair play to, of course, Insomnia 8-bit at the moment to try and push on with the likes of Chris Allen trying to get up towards School Gambler, and of course fend off the other McLaren. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. Which you can see that the likes of BRNTZ trying to catch up towards Chris Allen at the moment. He's trying to push on, but it's going to be very close to see what happens. But could be very close as Peter now has to take his drive-through this time round. He's probably thinking, well, I haven't done track limits, so what is it trying to tell me? But we'll see how close that's going to get with the likes of Lemos trying to push on, but Peter's still here to try to figure out what's going on. But it's going to be very close as Lemos tries to, you know, he's got a car between him and JMR at the moment. JMR, well, two cars between him and JMR. As JMR comes through Lesmore 2 now, as we speak. We've got around, of course, 30 minutes and 44 seconds to go in this race, but it's still a long way to go. But could be very close as in some 8-bit now comes into, of course, pit lane, so that's going to be very close to see what's going to happen between these two. That includes Lemos, but you never know. But Chris Allen is currently putting the black and blue McLaren under pressure, with Jeffrey trying to join in that battle as he continues his great form at the moment. As Chris Allen, he's now a pro driver for this season, so 30 minutes to go. Could be very close to see what's going to happen there, but you know, who knows what's going to happen as Peter comes through Parabolica. Is he going to pit and do his drive-through, or is he staying out? But only time will tell. It's going to look like he is going in for his drive-through, so he knows for a fact if he didn't do it now, the steward would black flag him. So it looks like Insomnia 8-bit is down in second place now for the Bentley with... No, he's not, he's now third, I beg your pardon. I do apologise. It kind of caught the better of me as Jeffrey tries to catch up towards Chris Allen. So we'll see what's going to happen between the Ferrari and the McLaren here. So it's going to get very close to see what's going to happen for comfort between the Ferrari and that McLaren. 765 McLaren versus the 28 Ferrari. This could end in tears, side by side going up towards the Rodriguez chicane. It's all or nothing. Who's going to be the last of the breakers? Looks like Jeff's trying to give, of course, Chris Allen a bit of a nightmare run there, but fair play. Lemos still leads them from JMR. Followed by JMR's got a lot of traffic cars ahead of him as Polly goes into pit lane. Unfortunately, looks like that Sky McLaren has a lot of damage. To see what goes on at the moment, but Captain Slaw's drive-through penalty has now been cleared. Excuse me. With around 20, just under 28 minutes to go. So we'll see how close it's going to get. Lemos is still there in first, followed by JMR, followed by Insomnia 8-bit. School Gambler still fourth then, fair play. To see what's going to happen with the likes of the remaining couple laps. Chris Allen still trying to push on here. I don't think he's going to catch Jeff now for what could be 6th place unless something majorly happens, but you never know with the likes of the other two. But speeding in pit lane then, Polly's got a penalty for speeding in pit lane, drive-through penalty. Quite a few penalties this evening, been dished out by the stewards, the clerk of the course, but could be very interesting to see what they think of it. There's we've got just under 27 minutes then of the first race of the season, of season 7. As JMR needs to think, what have I got to do between now and, of course, of course, between now and the end of the race, but who knows what's going to happen. I think JMR's now pushing on as it's on 8-bit still there. School Gambler in, of course, 4th, trying to push on to, of course, get away from BR NTZ19 to get away from that black and blue McLaren 720S. The McLarens are doing very strongly at the moment because Jeff is currently in, of course, 6th, Chris Allen in 7th, Hells after a bit of a mistake early on up into 8th, Sly Pete, of course, in 9th, followed by Captain Slow in, of course, 10th place at the moment. DC Fabio, of course, 11th, Future Avenger now 12th, and of course Polly in, of course, 13th at the moment, with that drive-through penalty 3 laps down, and of course DC Joe in, of course, 14th at the moment, but 25.5 minutes to go. Checkered flag does drop very soon, but he goes in for his drive-through penalty, so rightly so. But obviously, you know, we'll see what's going to happen there, but you can see what's going to happen between now and 25 minutes to go until the checkered flag does drop. Jeremiah trying to push on, he's not excuse me, he's trying to push up towards Lemos as well, but it's so difficult to figure out what is happening between these guys because Lemos is so spread out and won't go through the Parabolica. He's got Insomnia 8-bit, of course, School Gambler 3rd and 4th, the Debitons doing a stellar job at the moment, but looks like Polly's drive-through penalty has now been cleared, so that's fantastic to see. But it's going to be close to get closer and personal for the last couple of minutes of the race, but it's going to be very close to see what happens with Jeffrey currently there, with Chris Allen trying to still chase him now. But yeah, Chris Allen's still pushing on to try and get up to Jeffrey's McLaren, with Hells trying to push on. Sly Pete there, Captain Slow also getting a bit crossed up in that Lamborghini. Oh, he spun it going into a Scari. Oh no, that's commentator's curse, that. But he's got around 20, just under 24 minutes to go with DC Fabio as well, with Future Avenger in 12th, with Polly also 13th, and DC Joe currently in, of course, 14th, but JMR still there trying to push away, but Insomnia 8-bit is probably going to be holding on for dear life at the moment, with the likes of Jeffrey trying to push on. It's around 23 minutes to go at the moment, but we'll see what's going to happen between these guys in a bit, but we'll soon find out what's going to happen. I'm just going to make sure I'm still on stream, but it's around 23 minutes to go at the moment. Yeah, it's alright, I'm still live on stream, as you know, School Gambler's got quite 2 fans this evening. Good evening, Helsingborg. Push School Gambler. Push, he's doing quite well, to be fair. He's currently 4th. He's under threat for 4th though, for of course BRN NTZ, but he's not giving up so far. But you never know what's going to push on for dear life. The McLarens are probably thinking, right, we've got quite a lot of, still a long way to go. It's still just under 20. Just under 22 minutes to go in this race, but we'll soon find out what's going to happen. But you know, trying to push on for dear life is School Gambler. Then you've got, of course, BRNTZ trying to chase him down though, so it could be very close to see what's going to happen there. But got the likes of Jeff trying to join these battles, as well as School Gambler gets a bit almost gets close for comfort with BR and NTZ trying to hop, skip and jump the curbs at Variante Rostifilio, but could be very close to see how close that's going to get. But who knows what's going to happen, because that's now dropped the likes of Jeffrey to catch up to BRNTZ. But it's going to be very close to see what's going to happen thereabouts. But 21 minutes to go. Do we think JMR is going to be able to catch up to Lemos? I don't know, it's hard to tell, but it's something at 8 bits, still in third, then followed by School Gambler. And then of course MTZ getting caught by Jeffrey now. It could be very close to see what's happened between them two. But just coming up to 20.5 minutes to go. To see how close that's going to get. But who knows what's going to happen, because these two are obviously now going to have a bit of a battle with around 20 minutes to go in this this last couple of 20 minutes of the race. But maybe Jeff's going to try and make a move. We'll go on board with Jeff's McLaren. So just under 20 minutes to go. Jeff's flashing the lights at BRNTZ to say, come on mate, if you're going to hold me up, I'm going to end up catching you with great speed or not, as he gets the move done into Variante Rostifilio. So there you go, the move is done finally by Jeffrey to try and get away from now BRNTZ, but is he going to be able to do it? Oh, I don't know, it's going to be hard to tell, but School Gambler now has a bit of a gap between these two, and then you can just see the likes of course, Jeffrey trying to hold off the other number 19 McLaren 720S. But be very interested to see what happens between these guys for 19 minutes to go then, as Peter goes into pit lane. Not too sure why, has he had a bit of damage somehow, but his night's gone a bit of a backwards journey. But who knows, going into of course the last 19 minutes of the race, it's all or nothing at the moment. Trying to figure out where the closest battles are at the moment. It's quite difficult to see what's ongoing at the moment, because the likes of these guys here, the likes of DC Joe's got lots of scars on that Ferrari now. But it's catching up to I believe he's catching up to Slide Pete, but Slide Pete's obviously but we'll see exactly how close that's going to get. But it's going to be very close between the other two, but the likes of Jeff and of course BRNTZ now have looks like they've had a bit of a bother, but obviously, you know, Chris Allen's catching BRNTZ up in that 28 Ferrari, but 17 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Anything can happen, but as we've got quite still better to go. We've got just coming up to 17 minutes now. It could be very interesting. Excuse me. Very interesting to see what will happen. I think Chris Allen's going to be able to catch him up. I think by looking at how fast he's going through like Lesmo and Lesmo 2, hopefully to catch him up. It could be a very quick and personal, but you know, who knows what's going to happen between these guys. But as they put a lap on to Peter at the moment, Peter is currently suffering in that Lamborghini by the looks of it, but looks like Chris Allen's going to try and make a move towards the scar. He's going to try and make a break, but he's got to try and push on. He's got 16 minutes 40 seconds to catch up towards BRNTZ there. He's got, obviously BRNTZ's got a bit slidey there, but there's a yellow flag somewhere Trying to figure out who that is, but number 24, I believe that might have been Lemos actually, that made a mistake. Or was it the 91 machine of... Was it 91? Was it the 91 machine? Can't really tell. Yeah, the 91 machine. Trying to figure out who the 91 machine is. It is DC Fabio. So I do apologise, trying to get that out there, but looked a bit of a very interesting moment as Chris Allen now gets past BRNTZ, so it's going to be a quick of a interesting time as DC Fabio now has been dispatched from JMR. Well, JMR's dispatched him, but has that held him up quite a bit to get away from, to get up to Lemos? It might have done. 15.5 minutes to go then in this first race of the season, but who knows what's going to happen. But JMR then currently held up, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But that could have held him up. I think it has held him up because obviously Lemos is now further up the road. But we've got just under 15 minutes to go then in this race. It could be very close to see what's going to happen. It's all or nothing to play for at the moment. But who knows what's going to happen for the Thursday Night Racing League round number 1 of season 7. But it could be very close and personal, getting towards the nitty-gritty part of the race now. 14, go to 14 minutes. Not many battles galore now. It's just getting towards the last couple of minutes of the race. It's getting towards the sharp end. It's 14 minutes to go as we speak. But you can see School Gambler. He's making his debut tonight along with Jeff, as well as Insomnia 8-Bit. They're doing stellar jobs at the moment to catch up to where they want to be. Stellar jobs at the moment. But you can just see with 13 minutes, just coming to 13 minutes on the clock. It's still going to be a close end to the race, but then you've got the likes of Jeff trying to catch up. Chris Allen still 6th, BRNTZ 7th now with the likes of Hells 8th, Sly Pete 9th, DC Fabio and of course 10th, Future Avenger 11th, Captain Slow 12th, Polly 13th and DC Joe 14th. At the moment I think DC Joe's going to try and catch up to Polly in a minute, put a place on him, but JMR reigning champion at the moment, trying to catch up to Lemos, but Lemos is currently going through Lesmo 1, so anything can happen between these two. 13 minutes to go then as the clock ticks down towards the checker flag here at Monza for round number 1 of season 7, but who knows what's going to happen. But it could be very close to see what will happen here for a very interesting night of racing. It's been probably one of them so far. There's not been any really major issues. I think the guys have really realised how close it's going to get, with like School Gambler trying to defend now from Jeff, going into the rest of Filio for another lap. But the two McLarens are battling, but I don't think School Gambler is going to be able to catch up to Insomnia 8-Bit unless anything majorly happens between now and the end of the race. But who knows. But there's obviously going to be a lot of battles galore as DC Joe actually overtakes Polly for 13th place at the moment, so just under 12 minutes to go in the race then. So the checker flag is fast approaching for these guys. It could be all or nothing, but Jeff's trying to catch up to School Gambler, but School Gambler, I don't know why they've thrown out the blue flag for, because it's not really in the car ahead of them to put a lap on. But Jeff's trying to catch up towards the likes of School Gambler at the moment, but School Gambler, fair play to him, pushing on for dear life as Jeff tries to get alongside him, but it could be very close between these two, going out with Ascari towards the Parabolical to see what JMR's doing. JMR literally still trying to latch onto the back of Lemos, trying to catch up to Lemos as best as he can, but can't see it happening with around just 11 minutes to go in this race then. But who knows what's going to happen between these two, between Jeff and of course School Gambler. School Gambler currently pushing on for a very well-deserved 4th place at the moment. It could be all or nothing, but Jeff looks like he's going to try and get the move done into Rettifilio. Is he going to be able to do it? Soon yet to find out. But School Gambler goes onto the brake, so does Jeff, but then you can see how quick the brake discs and the calipers are getting. But fair play to these guys, they're never giving up, but it's all or nothing with 10 minutes to go in this race, and so 10 minutes remaining. Are we going to see an interesting end to this race? Are we going to see what we've paid to see this evening for Thursday Night Racing League here at Monza? You know, it's quite a lot of things ongoing, but who knows, with the likes of Lemos still leading the race, then followed by JMR. Insomnia 8-bit currently still holding on for dear life, but School Gambler then holding on for dear life at the moment. He's trying to get away from the likes of Jeff at the moment. Jeff's trying to literally get alongside him, but you can see how close that's going to be. But you know, who knows what's going to happen. But you know, School Gambler holding on for 4th at the moment with around 9 minutes to go in the opening race here at Monza for Season 7 of Thursday Night Racing League. But Lemos could be doing exactly the race win this evening, but you know, he's got Peter ahead of him. Peter's gone off by the looks of it in that Lamborghini, as we can see what's going to happen. But Stefano Marchetto joining in the comments. Good evening, mate, how are you? Sadly, you're very missed at the moment, mate. Kind of wish you were out racing, mate, you know. You would have put I think you would have put shame to some of these guys tonight, but it is what it is, mate. So we've got 8 minutes to go. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Oh mate, I'm always nice. You know me. I'm always nice, mate. I'm always nice. But probably would have smashed it with my Bentley. you I think you would, mate, to be fair. I think we would have had a 3-way fight if you were here. But you know, it's going to be very interesting to see what will happen. But Lemos still leads then, but fair play to School Gambler then. Got a bit of a gap now, 2.1 of a second between him and Jeffrey for what will be 4th place, but 7 minutes left on the clock. It's not that far to go now. But you know, who knows what's going to happen. I think excuse me as my voice goes, with 7 minutes left as Lemos goes through Ascari. Peter's holding up JMR at the moment, which seems to be a bit of a risky move, but maybe JMR's car's, not JMR, maybe Peter's car's broken. And then you've got, of course, the legendary Bentley, not driven by Stefano Marchetto though, but of course Insomnia 8-bit doing a flying flag for Bentley at the moment. So we'll see what happens there. But then you've got School Gambler, followed by Jeffrey. Jeffrey's trying to chase him up now, but I think he knows what's going to happen with the last couple of 6 minutes to go in the race. Then Chris Allen in 6th, followed by BRNTZ, followed by Hells, Sly Pete, then DC Fabio, Feature Revenge, Captain Slow in the Lamborghini, followed by DC Joe, and of course Polly in the McLaren 720S, the Sky Tempesta racing machine, I believe that is. So then you've got Lemos coming through, Variante. I'm gonna butcher that corner. I can't do that while like Stefano Marchetto is watching. He would have been on home turf for this evening, but we'll soon find out exactly what's going to happen. But 5.5 minutes to go. It's not far till the checkered flag finishes. But it's been a good night of racing so far for these guys for season 7 of the opening round. But I think JMR now has to realise, well, Lemos has had me, but 5 minutes to go in this race. It's still a bit of a way to go. But that's a School Gambler still there in 4th, then with of course Insomnia 8-bit in 3rd on his debut. Fair play, he's done very well to get there, but who knows what's going to happen. But just under 5 minutes then to go in this race. We're not even at the final lap yet. Chris Allen of course 6th, BRNTZ 7th, Hells of course in 8th, Sly Pete in 9th, DC Fabio in of course 10th, just letting Insomnia 8-bit to go. Then you've got Future Avengers, and of course Captain Slow, then DC Joe, and of course then Polly round up the field. Still 14 drivers though. 14 drivers have survived tonight, which is amazing to see. But who knows what will happen at Circuit de Castelli, Paul Ricard, in 2 weeks' time, because that's where we head. We head to France for what will be another endurance race. But I believe it will be run in the dark, so that'll be very interesting as Lemos gets going for 4 minutes to go in this race then. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll see what's going to happen between Lemos and is JMR going to catch him? I don't know, it's hard to tell, but Insomnia 8-bit literally pushing on for what could be a very interesting very interesting 3 minutes to go. But who knows what's going to happen. With Jeff still in 5th then, followed by Chris Allen, of course 6th at the moment. It could be very close, but he's almost got taken up by Polly there when he was putting a lap on him. But could be very interesting as Lemos goes about across the line. 3 minutes left then. It's looking likely that Lemos could be pushing on for quite some time. It's obviously, just looking at Lemos' lap time, he did a 148 yeah, what was it? 140. I can't tell at the moment. It's probably 148 somewhat to another. But nevertheless, Lemos is going to be probably taking the first victory and the first blood for this season, with the likes of JMR currently in 2nd with Insomnia 8-bit, and of course 3rd, followed by School Gambler at the moment, and of course in 4th at the moment with the likes of Jeffrey now trying to catch him up, it seems. But with 2 minutes left on the clock, roughly, I think the School Gambler is going to be holding on for dear life in that gold-plated McLaren 720S, with the likes of Chris Allen still, and of course 6th, followed by BRNTZ as Lemos comes through Lesmo 2, which could be to start what will probably be the final lap after he comes through Variante Ascari. But it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen here for the final lap then. I don't think Lemos is going to make a mistake unless somehow the commentator puts a curse on Lemos, but I highly doubt it. But who knows what's going to happen there, but fair play to Lemos. But it could be very close to see what's going to happen there as he powers his way through Parabolica now to start what will be probably the final lap as well of round number 1 of season 7. But fair play to Lemos, he is about to cross the line, and yes, he is going on to the final lap now, so fair play to Lemos. With around just under a minute to go in this race, JMR will be going on to the final lap as well. In Summit 8-bit, fair play, he's done very well this evening, as well as School Gambler, followed by Jeff, Chris Allen, and most they got, you know, they've all done very well. They've had a few issues, bit of penalties there and there for some people, but it is what it is, you know. But you can see JMR pushing on as there is a car off at the Scary. That is of course Future Revenge, but that's not going to hamper many people up as much these days. But see Lemos going through Lesmo 1 at the moment. We'll come back to him in a minute. We'll see what's happening with School Gambler and of course Jeff. I think School Gambler will be pushing, he probably will be finishing 4th because the timer may run up by the time he gets there, but fair play to Lemos, currently firing his way up towards of course Variante Scary. I think School Gambler is going to be a 4th place finisher, but that is, I think he's still on to the final lap. Yes he is, so that's fair enough to School Gambler to try and push on, but Lemos is going to be your first victor of the evening and first victor of the season. Is this going to be the time where Lemos now then takes the championship this season, because obviously run up twice in season 5 and season 6, but Lemos comes through Parabolica then to take the checkered flag in style. He will be delighted with that. He flashes the lights and he takes the well-deserved victory, start to finish for Lemos. And I'll tell you what, JMR's going to be sweating after that to think, you know, what on earth have I done? What have I got to do at of course Circuit Le Castellet to get onto the top step of the podium? But I'll tell you what, fair play to this guy Insomnia 8-bit, coming home in of course at the moment 3rd place, coming through Variante Scary. Then he's going to be pushing all the way to get where he needs to be. He'll come home in of course 3rd place to do that, and it seems he's done it. So the new guy on the podium, excuse me, a new person onto the podium to get 3rd, with of course School Gambler literally pushing on, but Jeffrey's not far behind him, going down the back straight towards Parabolica. This could be very close between the pair of them, but looks like fair play to School Gambler at the moment to get 4th then in the opening race. I'll tell you what, fair play, that has been astounding. A debutant in 4th as well as another debutant in 5th place to get of course 5th place between them, but fair play between the pair of them. Crossing line 4th and 5th with the likes of Chris Allen of course in 6th place, BRNTZ in of course 7th, followed by Hells in of course 8th, Sly Pete, DC Fabio 9th and 10th, followed by Future Revenge of course in, and of course 11th with Captain Slow 12th, DC Joe's 13th and Polly in 14th, with Lemos rounding up the field then, well, you know, basically not rounding up the field but basically doing a lap of honour, to being congratulated by the marshals to see how well that has gone for him. A perfect end to round number 1 of season 7 of Thursday Night Racing League. I think he's going to be delighted with that. I think he will be thinking, you know, that's how to win a championship, and potentially what will be a very good outset going into Paul Ricard Circuit Le Castellet in 2 weeks' time. But as I say, driver interviews will happen in 2 weeks' time, because my voice is well and truly gone. But hopefully we will be back for what could be a stellar next race of the meeting at Circuit Paul Ricard Circuit Le Castellet. And yes, indeed, fair play to everyone. They finished the race it is, you know, it's nice to see that people did finish the race, and you know, I think to see what was ongoing. But fair play to Lemos for being the first race victor of the season. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the dark at Paul Ricard in 2 weeks' time. I'm going to stop the stream here, guys, because I'm going to head off and have a break from potentially now doing commentary until 2 weeks' time when we go to circuit Paul Ricard de Castelli. I've been Hoppers Thursday Night Racing League. This has been Season 7, round number 1 here at Monza. Until next time, ta-ra.